And so welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara. Place your hand on your heart. This is the moment that we give ourselves this time, yes? For we come here as we are, and yet we will not leave here the way we came. And in that space, we make a decision. Wow, power. Just turn me off for now. I can manage. So we come here with a decision of what we're allowing, what we're letting go of, what we're letting be. And often, if you give yourself, this is your time. This is your self-care. Today, I'm talking about too blessed to be stressed, okay? So this is your self-care, your time. And so the question for today will be, did you allow yourself to fully engage? Or did you run the teams in your mind and figure out what they could do different, or look at your clock, or hurry to your next thing? Can you be present? That's a question. I'm asking myself the same question. Are you with me? Can you be present? Yes. And allow, for this is your time. This is your time. I had the good pleasure for years in the U.S. and the U.K. to teach stress management. I guarantee you want to know what the #1 staff group was? Where they came from? Churches. Hello? Yes. So this is the day that the Lord hath made. This is the day the law is working. And we are so privileged and so blessed today to be surrounded by these great musical souls, our band and Noreen Brocky and our AV team and our ushers. There has been so much going into this magical moment that we have together. Thank you so much for being here. When there's a song that's being performed, please join. You have our permission in advance. So give yourself a great big hand. Please stand and let us join in our congregational song. Wonderful, and thank you so much. For those of you that were not here last week, you missed the moment of us naming, on behalf of the board and the staff, the leadership team, we named the chapel here at Unity of Santa Barbara the Shirley Campbell Chapel. And so, if you haven't been into it yet with the new energy, she and I prayed this morning over it and created this future of expectation in that way, yes. And as she would say, the Christ candle is right behind us, so please enjoy that energy. And next weekend is Shirley Campbell's birthday, so we will officially start meditation on Sunday morning at 9:15 in the chapel. So if you would like to come and partake in the grounds and be in the experience of that, that will be 9:15 next Sunday morning. So I trust somebody on the staff wrote that down. You know, we make this stuff up as we go along. So we're honored that you're here, and the beautiful flowers, Jackie Kennedy has dedicated the arrangements for May, and we want to thank Ingrid Smith May for the arrangement and the design. So what a blessed thing, yes? And so if you are with us for the first time, we're going to ask you to stand just to help the ushers. We're not going to ask you to do anything else, but we would like to acknowledge you. So if our ushers would start moving this way, and if someone is here for the first time, if you would please stand, we would like to thank you for being here, and thank you for your presence. Thank you for connecting with us. All right, so what I'm going to say about that is the first weekend of each month is Friendship Sunday. And that's a Sunday that we will feel able to invite friends. How many of you have some? Great, write their names down. And so we invite you to bring people to this community, because that's the way truly that a spiritual community grows. Is first of all, you have an experience. Second of all, you feel the change. And thirdly, you want to bring your people with you. Yes? Yes. I am alive because someone thought enough of me to invite me to a Unity community when I was 19. So, and I'm sure many of you would say the same. You notice I'm sticking with my notes today. All right, so yes. So that being said, the other piece is that we've been busy here during the week. We've been creating like little busy minds and allowing Spirit to flow through us. And so we have decided that we are going to create energy into a bookstore again. And have a bookstore once again. We have, my family has a bunch of bookshelves in storage and this and that. And so we are going to this office in the corner, not the back one. But the beginning when you open, I didn't practice this. When you go in that space, we are going to declare our new bookstore. And so Peggy and the team are going to get rid of some of the older books that's just been sitting and collecting dust. And we're going to accept donations if you would like to help us get a jump start. I know I personally am making a donation to get us a jump start, but we feel really good about it. How about you? Absolutely. Wonderful. And speaking of unity, we're going to invite our beloved friend, Thomas Robinson, up to speak. He scheduled it many weeks ago. And just know if you would like to do that, let me or Reverend Kathy know. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you. Yes, we can touch. Yes, bless you.
Yes. Thank you, Reverend Temple. I volunteered to share with you what unity means to me. And unity has been my spiritual home since I came to the Burning Bowl ceremony in 2004 when I read about it in the local newspaper. And it didn't take me long to decide that I wanted to make it my spiritual home because the teachings here were in alignment with what I knew to be true from a life-changing experience many years ago. When I was growing up, my family went to the Methodist Church. I was taught that God was watching me all the time and that I needed to behave or else there would be consequences. I was also taught that those who didn't accept Jesus as their Savior would end up in hell. I didn't like the first rule, and the second one didn't make sense. So I became an agnostic for many years. Then when I was 30, I was blessed to have that life-changing experience of God. And I'll use his instead of them as a pronoun because we don't have an adequate or appropriate pronoun for God in the English language. But anyway, so I had this life-changing experience of God and of his love for me. And that love was far greater than I thought love could exist. And the experience happened when I was struggling with some major issues, and I didn't really like myself, let alone love myself, or think that I was worthy of it. One of the results of the experience was a feeling of aliveness that I never remember having before. And another one was the falling away of a really strong belief that I was not able to sing. And the result of that is that I've been able to enjoy being in the choir for many, many years. And Unity singers have been a big part of my life, and thank you all. Now, obviously, after that experience, I was no longer an agnostic. But I searched for many years for a church that taught that God was not vengeful and that God was there to be found within each of us. My search ended when I found Unity. Thank you.
Let's give Thomas a standing ovation. Wait. Come. Yeah. All right, I want to ask you a question. How many of you related to his story? You see what you did? And every time we share our story, It divides by the number of people we share it with. Thank you from our hearts. It takes a lot of courage to get up here, and I want you to honor him.
Thank you. Okay, being a singer, I just have to do this because
Microphone.
Jim. Oh, I can hear myself.
We can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? Well, he keeps telling me I get too close. I'm trying to stay back. Well, I was going to stay back for a reason. I'm going to say, freedom, freedom, freedom.
All right.
Very out of tune, but that's typical. Freedom, it is our word for the daily word. Taking responsibility for my life leads me to freedom. Each life has its share of ups and downs, like most people. I have felt blessed by my happy experiences and laid low a little bit by my difficult ones. I have used the spiritual tools of forgiveness and gratitude to learn from and move beyond the painful experiences. This kind of spiritual housekeeping is my key to lasting freedom. By releasing blame and regret over and over again if necessary, which it is usually necessary, I am ensuring that I will not be bound by the past and limited by the outworn image of myself. Life is dynamic, and so am I. My growth is dependent on the forward movement, and I commit to embracing the freedom that comes from leaving the past behind. With gratitude, I bless the person I was with faith, and reach unencumbered to the person I am becoming. Let's say together, taking responsibility for my life leads me to freedom. Everyone? Taking responsibility for my life leads to freedom. For you were called to freedom, brothers and sisters. That's from Galatians 5:13.
And so if you will allow yourself, whether you are here in person or if you are online, to set everything aside in your mind, in your heart, and in a decision that you are making to put it all aside. And allow yourself to uncross and put both of your feet on the floor, firmly grounded on the beauty of the floor, the beauty of the earth. And you become aware of the element of trust. Become aware how the chair is holding you up. Without any conscious thought of it whatsoever, it is holding you. And you are so connected to the essence of Mother Earth, though we are blocked by a floor. There is nothing that can block the spirit within us. For as we honor our time and as we go within, we are keenly aware that our activities in unity really are a within journey. That is the way we measure life. That is the way that we face external circumstances, is that we view from the inner eye, the inner awareness, the inner consciousness, from a space that says, it is not I, but the Spirit within me who doeth the work. It is not the circumstance that is outside of me. It is the inward part that gains the activity of life and energy and vibrancy and new beginnings. For all of life starts within us. Big breath, everyone, big breath. All of life starts, begins, and makes its decisions within. And so when we come together in this sacred room with the beautiful music and the elements that are all here designed for us, we allow ourselves to let go and let God. I let go and I let God. Say that with me. I let go and I let God. Wow. And in that moment, I feel my heart opening up. I can release the shield of falsehood, of putting on airs, of pretentiousness, of being something to fit. And I really can allow myself to have an experience with life without any editing, without any preconceived thoughts of what that is, but to fellowship with the divine. Here I am, Lord. It is I. I've heard you calling in the night. Here I am, Spirit. Here I am, God. It matters not what you call it. What matters is what you believe. And so in this space of being aware that we have been breathing all day without telling our body to do so. Our heart has been beating all day without us needing to remember at 6:15 this morning to tell it to do so. We are blessed beyond measure. Say that with me. We are blessed beyond measure. Become aware how you are breathing in that level of gratitude into your bodies, into your awareness, into your connection. There is one life. That life is God. It is my life. It is your life. It is life itself right here, right now, in every cell and fiber of your being. It has no memory, no family history, no dysfunction, no stories. It allows yourself to be free. Freedom. One life. That life is God. It is your life right now, existing as a new idea. We are here to have an experience, and this is the day. Indeed, we are having one. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. All women, all children, adopt a pet. Hallelujah, yes? Hallelujah. So I'm feeling that it would be nice for you to stand up and go say hello to someone you don't know today. What about that? What a concept, yes? That'll give you time to get up. Yeah. Chrissy, wonderful. Yes, so it'll give you time to get up. And then do you want me to take the room back, or do you want me to take the room back, or do you want to just start? Then you'll just start when you're ready. Okay. Good job. Appreciate you, man. What? Who are you? Bless you. absolutely fantastic. Let's give them some more love, shall we? So, a well-known preacher, Tony Evans, told a story about how he was always horrified to go up in a high-rise elevator. And he was always concerned that it would lock up and stop somewhere in the middle and he would be caught, you know. And so he said that, of course, he feared that, and one day it came upon him, and he and many other people were caught in the car, and they were terrified about it. And he said that they were all getting very anxious, and some were yelling, and some were complaining, and some were wanting to know why they don't maintain the building, and blah, 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 blah. And he said all of a sudden, he looks over, and there's a telephone. And he goes over and he lifts the receiver on the telephone, and immediately, even without him shouting, they said, "We will be right there. Tell us exactly where you feel that you stopped, and we'll be right there." And he said, "Isn't that interesting? Really? Isn't that interesting? In our lives, as much training as we've had in courses and retreats and things we've gone to and Unity of Santa Barbara, how sometimes when something comes along, our tendencies are to go to our emotional body first and mentalize things and become angry and out of proportion, when all we really are called to do is to pick up the telephone to the divine, to make that connection first, you know, to make that identification that we are calling on, as we say in the 12th step, we're calling on a higher power. We're calling on something for we, in order to change where we are, already know that we've done what we can do, yes? Interactive, that we've done what we can do, yes? And so because we know that we have called upon and already done what we have done, it serves us to call upon something that's greater than us to deliver, to release, to let go, to golden key it, whatever you call it, that you can feel free and you can give something space to breathe. It always amazes me how, you know, when you were little and your mom asked you to, you know, take off the top of a jar. Did that ever happen to any of you? And you make all this body language with it. You know, you try to, turn the jar and you move it in certain directions and you leave it on the counter and walk away from it and then you go get it again. You know, the amazing thing is that we measure that. We literally measure somebody being able to take the top off a jar as a form of strength. All it is that you can take a knife and you can push under and allow breath, air to take place. It's not about strength at all. It's about giving the top of the lid room to breathe. And that is what we look at in our lives, going through your issues. Anybody have any problems here? Check the person that didn't raise their hand, they're not breathing. Of course, life is problematic, but the way to address problems is not to measure it by your own strength. Oh, I thought I ought to know better, I do better, blah, 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 blah. Not about that. It's about giving something air, so it can breathe, so it can develop you in a new and dynamic way. In our culture, we have it backwards. We say you go through life, you get banged up a little bit, you have situations, you have challenges, and when you get on the other side of them, there's less of you. Oh, you're getting by, right? Then Shirley Campbell, somebody like her comes along as a role model, and you go, that doesn't have to be true. Your challenges, as Shirley MacLaine would say, you don't make mistakes, mistakes make you. Your challenges draw more of you out so that you can have more vibrancy, more energy, you can live longer. Yes. And so it is, yes. So today we're talking about too blessed to be stressed. The power of intentionality. And what we know for sure is that even though we often say, like a cliche, that, we're in charge of our universe and, everything that happens to us, well, we caused it. Well, sometimes that becomes a form of guilt and some kind of undone religiosity that you layer on top of this idea called unity. The truth of the matter is most of us would not intentionally, consciously choose to have some of the issues that we have. Do you agree with that? Yes. And so we may not always feel like it could be soul choosing, but our personality would go, oh, I don't know, this is kind of big time here. But the point is that though we may not consciously choose where we're at, what we're experiencing, what we have with our health, with our life, with our loved ones, or lack of, we choose how much it affects us. If an event happens to you, you choose. You choose if it lasts 5 minutes, an hour, a week, a month, or 82 years. Yes? Everybody breathe. I know. I'm stepping on my own toes today too, so I feel it. But yes, we choose. We are the ones that are allowing something to continue to repeat itself. Years ago, I came up with this idea for myself that helps me manage my own stress when it comes to a story or it comes to an experience. And that is that when I'm going on about something and going on about it and making it bigger by the hour and calling the committee, do any of you do that? And all that group of people, and let's just make it bigger so they can say, I don't know how you do it either. I mean, pat yourself on the back. Let's just, get on that, that beacon here. I would ask myself, is this going to make my 45-minute speech at the end of my life? There's somebody that's going to talk about my life. There's somebody that's going to share things about me in whatever way they decide. Is this problem going to make that window of those 45 minutes? And so far, every time, my answer has been no. And from that answer of it being no, my awareness is then let's move on. Let's practice. Then let's move on. So much living to do and so much life. The thing about stress is that it gets kind of a bad rap, if you will, because there's also good stress, falling in love, things you don't know, experiences, a new birth, either within yourself or with a child, or something that happens, or something cause-related that you become part of. That's that juicy good stress. It's likened to like a violin. If you make the strings too tight on a violin, they will pop. But if you make them too loose, they will not make a sound. So it's somewhere between the too tense and very tense and too loose that allows the ebb and flow of life. And that is what we aim for. As Joan Bonacinco would say, it's learning to live in the somewhere between no longer and not yet. No longer and not yet, you see. And that's not easy in our humanity to do, especially those of us that are still convinced that we have control over something. You can laugh about that because that's that thing about our humanity, is that's the quest for us to let go. We have control over very little. And I just told you what one of those was, is to not allow things to consume you in your lives. Well, there was this man, and he had gotten a new job working in a factory, and he was so proud of it. And his job was to make sure at nighttime to morning that no one stole anything out of the factory, and he felt really good about it. He loved his uniform. I mean, he took his job very, very serious. And so one night, after a few nights, here comes a guy pushing a wheelbarrow with some newspapers in it. And the man went, aha, that's the guy. I bet that's him. I bet underneath those newspapers that he has stolen some stuff and thinks that I'm not going to notice that he has it. And he walks up to the guy and he says, sir, what are you doing with those newspapers? He says, well, I have a really hard time and lots of problems. And so I go around in this big warehouse and I collect all the employees' newspapers and I sell them just to make enough money to get by. And so he just, touched the guard's heart. And he said, well, okay, we'll let that be. And so anyway, days go by, days go by, days go by. So one day the upper management brings this man in and says, thank you for being here, but you're fired. He said, fired? What am I fired for? Under my watch? No one's ever taken anything. And the man said, no way, like 365 wheelbarrows that are gone from this area. You have to watch that online if you didn't get it. So, energy. What do we believe about it? What do we think of as important? 200 years from now, all new people. As we have heard before, in the afterlife, nobody says, I wish I had spent more time on my job. Nobody wishes I had spent more time in my office. Nobody wishes that they had spent more time fretting or being concerned or overly concerned of anything. Jesus would say to be in the world, but not of the world. How do we do that? We can be in the world. We can have an awareness of something going on, yeah? But we don't have to dig deep and allow it to take our space and change us. We can come from the high frequency of prayer, of knowing, of seeing something greater. When there's family members or people that you know and they're in a rocky boat, you don't help them by jumping in. Do you? No. You help them by being the lighthouse, by holding the space, having compassion, but holding the space so that they can find their way to you. They can find the experience of you, you see. And so it's learning how to be in that place. There was an African minister that brought in some African missionaries to the States, and they came into Houston, true story, and they were at a convention. And she knew that they would want to go shopping. And she said, I'm going to drop you off and let you wander around and everything and have fun shopping. But if you feel that you get lost, just look for the street in the avenue and I'll come and pick you up. So after a while, one of them feels like the whole group is lost. And he calls the missionary and says, we are lost. And she goes, well, where are you? And he said, we're somewhere between walk and don't walk. Well, I want you to know, thank you for getting that one. I'm feeling a little better. Oh my God. That to me is a strong key with knowing that you're too blessed to be stressed. Say that with me. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Is that in your life when something occurs, you stand in a solid way between walk and don't walk. Walk and don't walk. And in that space of non-movement is all the movement you can imagine, because you're making a prayer within yourself, you're calling on a higher power, and instead of reacting, instead of building a story, instead of calling your committee, you step back from it and you go, how will this be? Then you walk all the way from it. And you go, this will not be in my gut. It will not be in my body, right, Dr. Jim? I will not internalize it. I will not allow it to affect me. I will be in this space where I am grounded, and I will allow powerful, powerful place of staying grounded. Are you relating to this? Because I've got just a few more minutes. I want to make sure that, we're connecting here. And so it's crucial. I love learning. And I'm looking at Prissy here, who's had surgery. She made a decision that she was going to exceed all odds and get better than anyone else. Yes? And quicker than anyone else. And those are decisions that we make. We either work at the level of something happening to us, or we plan to be beyond averages and we exceed what that can be, you see. I love teaching Richard Carlson stuff. 25 million copies. Died when he was 45 years old on an airplane. He did his work. He came here. He's probably working on the other side with many people right now. Richard Carlson, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. How many of you read that book? One of the best books. It's ageless, it's timeless. You can use it. Don't sweat the small stuff at work or in your families and all of that. But I was grateful being able to represent that because I knew probably more than anybody in the room that I needed it. I needed it. But I learned years ago to take a blank white sheet of paper and in the left hand write what I can do something about, and in the right hand put what I can't do anything about. And what you'll find is all your energy is going to the things you can't do anything about. Big breath. So you learn to focus on what you can do something about. What are they? I can take care of myself. I can eat right, not eat sugar. Keep everything to a minimum. I can make a new friend. I can go shopping. I can do something. There's something I can do something about. I can go visit somebody that's less fortunate than I. I can go help somebody on Nextdoor app find a pet that's lost their dog or their cat or Buffy or Fluffy. There's all kind of things that we can do. But if we focus on what we can't do anything about, that's what zaps us. That's what starts to dissipate our well-being. You see. And we get into this analysis paralysis of just over-analyzing a situation or a circumstance or trying to figure it out or making it about us. I spoke many summers ago. I was invited, during that particular summer, it was kind of unusual, I was invited to speak at both Unities in Orlando. And one Unity that I was going to speak at, they were forewarning me, almost apologizing for my coming because it was summer. And they said, well, you know, it's summer. And I said, yeah, Florida, kind of used to, it's always summer. Yeah, well, it's summer here, and we don't have that many people coming, Reverend Temple. So there won't be many people here, but we still want you to come. That's exciting, I know. So anyway. So I went, oh, okay, well, this is the date, and I'll be glad to come. Well, a month later, still in the throes of summer, my friend Reverend Alice calls me and says, could you come and talk here in Orlando? We would love to have you. And she goes, it's amazing, and we have a new choir, and we have new this, and we have that, and all this stuff is going on. So I went to both communities. The first one was, it was great to be there, but just as they had said, there wasn't many people there because it was summer. And the other group was growing and building and learning and living because they know that God is not a seasonal effort. Issues are not a seasonal effort. And the interesting thing is, guess who was right? They both were. Oh, we can work ourselves into a frizzy of being right. But as the man that just celebrated on the other side 82 years, Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, you can spend your whole life trying to be right, or you can learn how to be kind, yes? And you learn to find the innocence. Find the innocence with your family, with your friends. Give people credit instead of making up and assuming and getting all wound up and out of track about it. It's just not worth it. The only person it's affecting is who? Is you. Find the innocence. Find that space. Many of you probably don't know, but when we were looking for a home here, we found a wonderful home in San Roque area. And we were all excited about it, and our friends went to look at it, and it was perfect, and it was empty, and it was located near Whole Foods. I mean, it was just like, all this. I mean, everything you could possibly imagine is just perfect. It's a starter place for us to come. We were all good to go. We wrote the people that were promoting it on Craigslist, and she happened to be in Tampa at the cancer center, and I'm going, oh, no way, we're here in Tampa Bay. We can come meet you. Well, we were scammed. We were one of those great groups of people that got to play out a story. We played out a story. We played out a story. And, the thing of that I told BB right away, I said, maybe we're paying them back for something in a past life. I mean, you can't just believe in other lifetimes if it's always to your advantage. Come on. I was like, not all of you are Joan of Arc. I'm sorry. Okay? It goes all the way around. And I said, maybe we have a debt we're paying back to her in a past life. Or let's say a story that she has lots of children and she just was desperate and needed money. Okay, we let that go. Like you, some things are easier to let go than others. But when we hold something, you know, this glass of water, it really isn't, it doesn't weigh much, does it? Some of you big brain people would probably want to guess. Stay away, Russ. No, I'm kidding. How many, you know, it's not that heavy, is it? But if I hold it for an hour, my arm will hurt. If I hold it till midnight tonight, when Gary comes by to secure our building, he'll have to call an ambulance. Really, because my arm won't move. It's not the weight of what you're carrying. It's how long you hold on to it that impacts and affects your life. Isn't it time? Isn't it time to forgive and let go and be? I invested money many years ago. I have several times, but one of these times I did years ago, and it was, I just remembered the number. It was $40,000, and it didn't work out, and I had some energy around it, and it'd be like $81,000 today. So not a whole lot of money, but you know, enough to go to be a Band-Aid ache, you know. And I just knew I had to forgive. More importantly, I had to forgive myself. I'm the one that made the choice, you see. And a few months later, I got a letter from an attorney. Reverend Temple, your beloved friend Susan has left you some money from her estate. And guess how much it was? $40,000. Nothing or no one can ever take what is right by your divine consciousness away from you. Nothing or no one can ever take by divine consciousness what's due to Unity of Santa Barbara, to your family, to your hearts, unless you allow it. Unless you allow it. So I'll close by saying that there was this guy, Brother John, and he entered into a silent monastery. Really looking forward to the experience. And the chief priest came and said, Brother John, you know where you are. It's a silent monastery. You cannot talk under any circumstances unless I give you permission to do so. So after a year, he goes to Brother John and he said, you can talk now. You're allowed 2 words. And he goes, hard bed. Brother John, go back in silence, please. So Brother John goes back in silence. He's there for another year, comes back, and he goes, okay, you're allowed 2 words. He goes, cold food. So the chief priest said, Brother John, I don't know, you're just not getting this, so go and be in the silence for another year. And so he comes back, and he goes, okay, what's your 2 words? And he said, I quit. And the chief priest said, wonderful, you've done nothing but complain the whole time you've been here. You see. So bless you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And now is the time that we love clapping because we love honoring a place such as this that allows us to have teachings and awareness and connect with each other. And am I? Yes? Okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But, and so, let me look at my notes, okay. Kathy, where are you? Okay. Yes, we are going to do our congregational song, I Am So Blessed.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. blessed.
If you will turn to the person to your left or right, and let's say, "You are so blessed." Let's sing this song. Here we go. You are so blessed. You are so blessed.
You are so blessed. I am so grateful for all that you have. You are so blessed. You are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
And so our affirmation together is, I hold the vision of unity of Santa Barbara as the thriving, loving, spiritual community it is meant to be. We feel so blessed, and there are various ways in which you can give, and also in loving compassion, understand that a number of people here give during the week, and so if they aren't giving during Sunday service, let's don't tell stories. Amen. As our ushers are coming forward, let's give our honoring to our ushers, and we thank them. We thank them so much. We're so grateful, and we thank you every week for all that you do. Yes? And so let us affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And so it is.
Are you ready for some announcements? I'm Forrest. Pleasure to be here. So, first of all, if you'd like to honor a pet, a person, a place, an event in your life with a flower dedication, please speak with Peggy, or you can actually email her at peggy@unitysb.org. If you would like to receive news and updates about the amazing things we have going on here, Unity has so many new programs we're launching, from the relaunch of the bookstore to the children's youth program to all kinds of the meditations on Sundays. Then check out our e-newsletter at unitysb.org. And please tell your friends about that as well, because we really do have a lot going on here. The next item I want to share about is actually we have office hours now, 11 to 3 from Tuesday to Thursday each week. The Shirley Campbell Chapel will be open during that time if you'd like to go in there and pray or meditate. We have a new setup of chairs and tables outside. You'll see that has been growing week by week. We have a lot of tables, so please enjoy yourselves and enjoy one another after the service today. We have a prayer box available right where the welcome table is, outside these windows where Peggy is. The prayer box will be there, as will be our chaplain, Bibi, right here. And she has a blue, what do you call that? A purple stole on. And so, of course, you've heard about the reviving of the bookstore. We will have a book sale coming in a few weeks, and we're actually looking for volunteers to help organize that. So if you are interested in volunteering and helping Unity organize this new book sale and the new bookstore, please again contact Peggy. She'll be at the welcome table. And again, Peggy at unitysb.org. She's also looking for volunteers to help break down tables on Sundays. So that's something you can speak with her as well about. Next Sunday, May 22nd, there's a special workshop at 12 p.m. in the Shirley Campbell Chapel. It's with Judy Wilkins Smith, and it's on decoding your emotional blueprint to disentangle unconscious and multi-generational patterns that keep you stuck. This will be a real special opportunity and something truly, there's an opportunity here to do some deep healing work internally. And so please, you can sign up at deb.eventbrite.com and feel free to let your friends know about that as well. Lastly, I want to share that we are relaunching our rentals program here, our facility rentals, and there's also a referral program as well. So if you would like to participate in that or rent the facilities, please contact myself, Forrest, at unitysb.org, and we'd love to share more about that with you. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday.
Let's give Forrest some love, yes? Thank our choir, Noreen, our band, the AV, the ushers. Thank all of you who came. Let us stand and sing our peace song.
We
I just heard a new choir member right there. God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.